Thank you, Michael. If I could just interject for a moment, Michael said something at the mic when he said that he manned up. You are involved with Girl Up.
I am.
Which is well, you probably better explaining it.
Thank you. Girl Up is it's an organization under the UN Foundation umbrella, and they are their young women's empowerment organization. But what makes Girl Up so special and why I'm so proud to have been an ambassador for them for so many years is they set up platforms for young people in developed countries to help young people in developing countries. And as someone who grew up, I was a Girl Scout, and I always wanted to find ways to make a difference, but I never felt like as a kid I had that opportunity to make real change in the world and of my own volition. And that's why Girl Up is so amazing, is they provide those opportunities and they allow kids a way to make a real difference with the smallest of processes and the smallest of programs that they can set up in their school, in their town, in their community that makes a huge difference to young women and girls all over the world.
Definitely important work. In the red shirt.
Hi, my name is Pierre. I hope you will be able to answer this one. It's a little bit out of scope of the series. How is going Devouring Grey?
So for those who don't know, Devouring Grey is a book series. It's a YA book series that myself and some producing partners have acquired the rights to, that we've been developing into whatever it is that we can make, whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever. We love the story, and I would recommend the book to anyone because it's fantastic. We're working on it. Something that I've learned in going through this process is that it's a lot slower of a process than you might imagine, but it's still very much alive.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi, I'm Raven. I'm an autistic actor, storyteller, artist, and songwriter. And I was wondering, well, there's so much I'd like to say, but I don't have time, so I've narrowed my question down to, I was wondering if or when you, Katie Cassidy, Katie Lutz, and Julianne Hartfree will get together and write music as the Canaries, because that would be so much fun for you and the fans.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. First of all, I miss those ladies, and second of all, we should just make a band. That'd be so fun. Or at least, have a karaoke night at the very least.
I already have one song written.
You do?
Yes, I have a few potential songs. One's an ode to the Canaries called Legacy of the Songbird.
Oh my gosh, you're incredible.
You inspired me to start writing music, so I've been writing whatever I feel, whenever I feel it, and I just have over 400 notes now.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That's so amazing. Keep going. I'm so proud of you. That's incredible.
Thank you. And over here.
Hi, my name is Apollo. I loved you from Girl vs. Monster and Jessie, I saw you growing up. And I just wanted to ask, because I know you had this gritty vibe, when you were portraying Mia. I wanted to know if you ever wanted to portray a really mean big bad, a villain for a TV show or a movie, supernatural or regular, but have you ever thought of it, being extremely villainy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, not only do, villains get to have the most fun, usually they get the best shoes. No, but all jokes aside, I absolutely have. That's something I have always loved about, and as you know from my days of Disney Channel, I played a lot of villains over there. But it's so fun to get to play someone who's different than who you are, and I got a little taste of it in The Stand as well, getting to play Julie Lowry, who is probably one of the most vile characters I've ever encountered in my life. But she has great hair, so but it's fun to stretch into those parts of your psyche that you would never even dream of truly living out. And my favorite part about being an actor is getting to explore why. Because you have a script and you have the A to Z of a character, but it's the why that you get to figure out. And figuring out how people tick and figuring out a way to love even the most vile of characters is such a fun challenge.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Bonjour. My name is Mathieu, and I'm with my daughter Laurence. We're disguised as shadow hunters, of course. I think we are very happy that you are here in Montreal today. So I have just one question about. Do you have a few tips, acting tips you had when you started your career, or right now? How you practice to get into your character, everything. So that's my question, and her question too.
Thank you, that's such a great question. I think, the biggest thing about the biggest pieces of advice that I've been given, that I always try and remain cognizant of, the first that was ever told to me is that an actor's job is to audition. If you focus on getting the part, you'll inevitably get more no's than yeses just by the way the industry is and by the way the job of an actor is. So if you focus on just going into the room, into that audition for those 10 minutes, and that's your job, going in there, doing what you love, and letting that be what you focus on, you'll have a great time. You'll get to do what you love to the fullest extent, and then whatever happens, happens. If it's yours, it's meant to be, and if not, there's something else out there for you. And the other piece of advice that I was given a long time ago by Angela Lansbury, when I was doing a little night music, she said to me, never forget that little spark that makes you unique, and that one thing that started you into this industry and into this art form and into being a storyteller, and sort of the why you began, because that's the one thing that no one else has. And it's the one thing that is truly yours, and it's the thing that will keep that ember of a fire fueled throughout everything that you do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Merci, Mathieu. Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex.
Hey.
Thank you, by the way, for the photo op we just did. I asked you to do a thing with Jace, and that was awesome. You were amazing, and it was super quick, so thank you. That was great.
Thank you. I love creative ideas.
Thank you so much. So actually, because of your involvement, I got into The Maze Runner quite late, but thanks to you, I was able to see it and really appreciate it. As Wes Ball says, it is a proper saga, and it's one of the best pieces of film I've ever seen. And I know that with the third film, there were some issues with scheduling and stuff, so I kind of have two questions. The first part being, was there ever a script where you were more involved? And what was your favorite memory coming away from such a big thing like that?
I never saw a script where I was more involved, but I know that had been part of the original plan, is to take Natalie's character Harriet and my character Sonia and sort of expand on their past and their future and kind of what the world was going to be. And for those of you who've read Fever Code, I don't know if that would have had anything to do with it as well. Anyway, but I think the biggest thing I took away from that experience is, I knew a couple of the guys going in. I knew Dexter Darden has been one of my oldest friends in LA, and I just adore him so much. He's a legend. And Dylan I knew because we both worked for MTV for a time, but other than that, that was pre-Shadowhunters for me. I was barely 18 when I started the first Maze Runner film, and they had already done a movie together, and I was a brand new kid, and I didn't know how it was going to be on set, and they instantly welcomed me with open arms, and we had the best time. Filming Scorched Trials was like summer camp, and then coming back again for Death Cure was after a couple seasons of Shadowhunters, and we'd all grown up and changed, and yet the family still felt the same. And all of those guys are still. Every time I see them, it's like no time has passed, and I think that's the mark of a good cast, is if you can just be and enjoy each other's company as well as respect each other's work.
Yeah, as if you guys are all still getting together and posting Instagram. I love that.
Oh yeah, that'll never end.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy Montreal.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lex.
my name is Hal. I wonder if there's going to be a spin-off from the Arrowverse. There's something about the Canaries. I saw somewhere on YouTube that there's supposed to be a spin-off with Hugh and a few other superheroes like the Canaries. I was wondering if that's going to be in effect.
Unfortunately, that was squashed a bit by the pandemic. There was a plan for a potential opportunity for that, and the second to last episode of Arrow is technically the first episode of what the spinoff would have been, with Mia taking on the mantle of her father and the Canaries being there to support and be that new kind of team moving forward, and to find William because he's kidnapped somewhere in the Arrowverse. We still don't know. So I don't know if that series will ever come to fruition, and I don't think it will, but Mia is still very much a part of the world. I was so fortunate to be a part of the Flash Armageddon last season, which was so fun. And from that, the writers did such a great job of reassuring me, at least, and hopefully the audience, that Mia is still very much a part of this world, and I will not rest until we find William. That's, at this point, it's like, he's either going to be another Oliver Queen or a supervillain at this point. I want to find out. Plus, I miss Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome.
That's an incredible dress. Your question.
Thank you. My name is Yolanda, huge fan from Shadowhunters. I kind of wanted to ask the process of getting into the character of Clary and how you wanted to act or the props and stuff. So
yeah, and it's a process that was sort of unique for me in a way. From the moment I read the pilot script, I just had a feeling about Clary, and I knew who she was, I knew where she could go, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with her. And then what I loved so much is that with every season that changed, because the writers had done so much with her story and had transformed her character so much, she was never stagnant. So there was always growth. I always had something to do, and looking back on every season, I would go, oh no, we did something. She's taken another step. She's grown, she's changed, she's a different person. And in fact, I was becoming a different person. I read all the books, and I kept diving into the world and talking to all the different departments, from wardrobe to props to stunts to everything. It really was such a collaborative process, and that is something that I try and talk about all the time, especially on the podcast that Dom and I are doing now. It's something we talk about over and over again, is the egoless collaboration that was Shadowhunters. From every single department, you had props and stunts and wardrobe and everyone all working together, doing things that maybe would have been considered overstepping boundaries on another set, but for us it was a roundtable discussion of how do we build this world together? How do we all push ourselves to go beyond what we think and feed off of each other's ideas of going, hey, there's this weapon that I think would fit into this world, and the props guys goes, oh, I can make that and put it in here, and the stunt guys go, oh, we should give that to this person, and then the writer overhears it and goes, wait, you've got this new weapon? That's cool. I'm going to write this in as a story point for this character. And it all builds off of each other from the books and that's why I think there was such magic on that set, because we all sort of did that together.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.